The sun was bright and warm as Mum and I set out for our adventure, just the two of us. She packed sandwiches and water, and I wore my favourite pink backpack, feeling grown up. We walked into the trees, the world turning green and quiet. Birds sang above us, their songs like a secret concert just for us. But soon the path grew less clear. The brown signs were gone. "Don't worry, sweetie, I know this area, I think." The forest felt less friendly, branches grabbing at my clothes. The adventure was starting to feel a little scary. The forest was no longer a playground, it was a maze, but we had no choice but to keep going. The sun faded behind the trees and the air grew cold. We'd been walking for hours. Everything looked the same, just endless green and brown. I asked Mum if we were lost. She hesitated, then forced a smile. "We're just taking a scenic route, Sarah." But her voice trembled, and I knew the truth. My feet ached, my backpack felt heavy, and our water was almost gone. Mum gave me the last sip, saving none for herself. The sky turned orange and purple. Night was coming. Fear crept in. What would happen when darkness fell? We found a small clearing. Mum tried to build a shelter from branches and leaves. It wasn't much, but it was all we had. The last light disappeared and the world went black. Mum pulled me close, wrapping her jacket around us. "Try to sleep," she whispered. But the forest was alive with strange sounds. I tried to be brave, but the fear was overwhelming. The quiet was no longer peaceful. It was empty, and we were alone. The forest felt endless, and the night stretched on. I clung to Mum, wishing for morning. Every sound made my heart race. The adventure had become a test of survival. I missed home, my bed, and the safety of the familiar. But there was no turning back. We had to face the night together. The real adventure was just beginning. And I was terrified. The forest was no longer a friend. It was a place of shadows and secrets, and we were lost in its heart. The darkness was alive with sound, snapping twigs, rustling leaves, distant howls. Something heavy moved outside our shelter. I squeezed my eyes shut, wishing I was home. Mum held me tight, her body trembling. A low growl rumbled through the ground, deep and close. Suddenly a long howl echoed, then another. Wolves, calling, hunting, surrounding us. The bear growled louder, the wolves howled back, a wild challenge in the dark. We were trapped between predators, nowhere to run. The howls and growls filled my head, promising a night of terror. The only thing left was to survive until dawn. The wild was in control now, and we were just prey. The animal sounds grew closer, tension thick in the air. Through a gap we saw the bear in a moonlit clearing, massive, terrifying. It was eating, the sounds raw and brutal. Shadows appeared, wolves, hungry, eyes glowing. They crept closer, challenging the bear. The fight exploded, fur, teeth and claws in a blur. Mum pulled me back, but I couldn't look away. The wild was ruthless, survival the only rule. We were caught in the middle, small and unprotected. The fight was a warning. In the jungle, only the strong survive. The night was far from over. The only rule was survival. The chaos of the fight was overwhelming. Fear built inside me until I let out a small, terrified scream. Instantly everything stopped. The bear, the wolves, all eyes turned to our shelter. We were no longer hidden. We were prey. Mum's eyes widened with fear for me. "Shh, Sarah," she whispered, but it was too late. The animals had a new target. Us, the bear and wolves, once enemies, now united in the hunt. Mom pushed me behind her, standing as my shield. "Run, Sarah. When I say you run, don't look back." My legs were frozen, fear rooting me in place. The animals crept closer, their hunger focused on us. I could smell their wildness, see the blood on their fur. My scream had doomed us, and guilt overwhelmed me. Tears streamed down my face as Mum prepared to protect me at any cost. The world shrank to this moment, glowing eyes, snarling teeth, and my mother's courage. We were the hunted now, with nowhere to run. The wild had chosen us, and my mother was ready to face it for me. The danger was real, and escape seemed impossible. But Mom's determination gave me hope. The forest was closing in, and our fight for survival was about to begin. The line between hunter and hunted had vanished. Now, Sarah, run! Mum's command broke my paralysis. I ran blindly through the dark maze, branches whipping my face, roots grabbing at my feet. Wolves panted and the bear thundered behind me, unstoppable. Mum was behind me, shouting, drawing the animals away. Then I saw it, a massive tree, its branches low and strong. "Climb the tree, Sarah!" Mum's voice cut through the chaos. The wild was closing in, but the tree was my sanctuary. The sounds of pursuit were deafening, but I climbed. The tree became my lifeline, my only refuge. The night was far from over, but I was alive. I was the wild's reluctant guest. I clung to the tree, hands raw, heart pounding. Mom's voice urged me higher, even as the wolves snapped at my heels. I pulled myself up branch by branch, every muscle burning. Below, chaos reigned, Mom shouting, animals snarling, a desperate fight for my life. I found a thick branch and dared to look down. Mum was surrounded, the bear looming over her, wolves circling. She wasn't fighting anymore, just looking up at me. Even in pain, her eyes shone with relief. I was safe. Her mission was complete. She had saved me. The animals closed in, but her gaze never left me. She tried to smile, weak but full of love. It was her way of saying goodbye. I was helpless, watching from above, my heart breaking. Her sacrifice was total, her life for mine. The wild claimed her, but her love lifted me higher. I would never forget her courage. The night was silent, but her voice echoed in my mind. I was safe, but at a terrible cost. The wild had taken my mother, but not her love. I clung to the branch, tears falling, the world below forever changed. Her last look was a promise. Survive. I was alone, but not abandoned. Her strength became mine. The wild had won, but so had she. I would carry her love with me, always. The night was long, but I held on. A mother's hope is stronger than fear, even in the darkest jungle. I survived because of her. The wild could not take that away. I was her legacy, and I would never forget, not ever. The world below was a nightmare. My mother, my shield, was gone. The wild animals had taken her, but her love burned brighter than the darkness. She gave everything to save me, her life for mine. I wanted to fight, to save her, but I was just a child trapped in a tree. The animals forgot me, her plan had worked. Her last words, "I love you," echoed in my mind. The forest fell silent, the fight was over. I was alone, hugging my knees, tears streaming down my face. Each tear was a memory, her smile, her laugh, her hand in mine. The law of the jungle had taken her, but not her courage. I stayed in the tree, a prisoner of grief, the night endless. Her last look was for me, her fear only for my safety. She was the bravest person I ever knew, a warrior, my mum. She gave me life, one final time. It was a gift I would carry alone. The wild had claimed her, but her love survived. I was changed forever, her sacrifice etched in my heart. The night was long, but I endured, because she wanted me to live. The wild was silent, but her voice remained. I was alone, but not lost. Her strength was now mine. I would honor her gift. The jungle had taken much, but not everything. I survived because of her, and I would never forget, not ever. Her love was my light in the darkness. Dawn broke, pale light filtering through the trees. The jungle floor was empty. No animals, no mother, just silence. I was cold, stiff and alone, grief heavy on my shoulders. Then a new sound, whump, 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 grew louder overhead. A helicopter appeared, searching, hope and sorrow mixing inside me. They were too late for her, but maybe not for me. I stood on the branch, waving, shouting for help. The helicopter hovered, a rope ladder snaking down. A rescuer climbed down, gentle and kind, helping me into a harness. "You're safe now," he said, but I knew I wasn't. As we lifted into the sky, I looked down at the endless green. The jungle had taken my mother, swallowed her whole. I was rescued, but not saved. A part of me would always remain in that wild place with her. The world of safety waited, but I was changed forever. I left the jungle, but it never left me. Her sacrifice was my burden and my strength. I would carry it always. The birds sang, but their song was for her. I was alive because of her love. The wild had taken much, but not everything. I was her legacy, her hope. The pain would fade, but her memory would not. I was rescued, but a piece of me stayed behind. In the jungle, with her. Some gifts are too great to repay. I would live for her always.